Hello everyone, this is August the 25th of 2021 and I feel really we're having made big shifts in the last 2 weeks. There are many big shifts which have happened as I have documented over the last 2 years. Things have steadily become more clear where we're going. I have said months ago that this is the best possible timeline we're on, even though it looked like we were losing at some point, but it is that situation when things get really difficult and we are able to pull out resources which we would not have accessible otherwise. That's kind of how it goes. So there has to be an extreme situation we have been pushed into to awaken us, and that's really what this big shift is. It's not going to be an interaction from the outside, even though we have been hoping for that. Many of us have in many different ways. We are the ones we have been waiting for. That's really what is more and more being revealed. And this is kind of a magic concoction of energies which brings us from A to B. I want to have a quick review here to this chart, which I think is one of the most important moments in the year. That is when planet Earth was farthest away from the Sun, the aphelion. You have to think Earth makes a slightly elliptical orbit around the Sun, is farthest away on July the 5th around every year, around that date, sometimes 4th, 5th, 3rd, and closest to the Sun 6 months later, around January the 2nd, 3rd, somewhere in that range. So these two are the two moments which are truly Earth's relationship with the Sun, Earth's relationship with the Creator, which the Sun represents. And believe it or not, these are moments of great predictive potential. I've been doing quite some research on that, and I actually did present some really powerful cases in my Facebook posts. This is now what we're in. Started July 5, 2021, when Earth was farthest away, when it had been slowing down for 6 months, and then came to that point where the forces of pulling us farther away and the forces of pulling us closer again were becoming equal, and the force that would then pull us closer again towards the Sun, the gravitational force, was overcoming the centrifugal force. In that sense, that's that moment, if we go into the physics of it. It's the turning point, and naturally a turning point is always a beginning. So this now is charting exactly that moment for Greenwich, for the 0 meridian. And I mean, this chart is so special in many ways. First of all, we have a void of course moon running into the void, not knowing where we're going. Very meaningful in our present time, in a narrow closing conjunction with the black moon and Sedna, all within less than half a degree. This is dark, this is difficult, yes, but it is a passage. And if we just look for 1 second ahead to next half year, for those of you who kind of are getting to a place of despair and giving and wanting to give up, this is a little light for you. I won't go too deep, but I just show you there will be a much, much different energy coming in as we get into early January. All these many planets here in the first house, including the moon here at 5 degrees. There's so much going on here in this transition, in this important amalgamation of two different aspects of Saturnian energy, from Capricorn into Aquarius, the moon in Aquarius with Mercury. Very beautiful here in opposition to Varuna, in T-square to Radamantis and TX300, which is justice, righteousness, putting one's foot down, and in Aquarius bringing people together into communities in a whole new way. It's that Aquarian energy which then will fully kick in with Jupiter here in the first degree of Pisces. There's so many more beautiful things about this chart, that Venus here in Capricorn with Juno. Venus in Capricorn is socially very responsible. Juno is making solid structural bonds, laying foundations for a new society. That's what it seems will be starting in January. So right now we are in this darkest 6-month period we can imagine ever having been, in a way. It seems everything is closing in on us. The black moon is the dark night of the soul. Setna is all the alien and weird and separating energies. Setna in a way is a bit, you could say, Saturn in overdrive, almost a bit, very difficult and dark it can be. It has also an aspect to being in strong connection with nature. That's actually I would say, the silver lining in this whole thing. The more we connect with nature, with the natural world, with the elementals, that's where we are being nourished. We become more and more empowered by nature. Something very important, refueling from that level far beyond the mind and the outer worries and the thoughts, and to tune in that oneness of everything, and there you will get the power to pull through this. Now, this Mercury BNR, this is very beautiful, very powerful. BNR is a centaur planet of being strong and independent, of innovation and sovereignty, very much so. And Mercury here at the 4th house cusp, yes, this is all about understanding what's been going on this planet. Yes, Mercury is very powerfully placed here in Gemini in its own sign, and this is the dwad of Pisces, interestingly enough, between 22:30 and 25 degrees. That's the energy, the overtone of Pisces here in this area, and the 4th house cusp is Aquarius dwad. So it's the Aquarian Piscean energy. Pisces here, this is first of all not the most easy dwad for Mercury. Pisces can be confusing and multi-layered and jumping to conclusions. However, it resonates with this ascendant, with Nessus and Okiroi here. Nessus is the one which is closest to the ascendant. Interestingly enough, again, Nessus, those of you who know a bit more, this is pathological behavior. This is all what we're dealing with, what has to be resolved and transmuted. And we have this beautiful opposition to Orcus for quite a number of years. I just pulled it up here for you to see. These are all the Nessus Orcus oppositions, started in 2017 and they go into 2025. That is really the transmutation. Orcus is alchemy, transmutation of the lower frequencies of this Nessus Centaur planet. Every planet, in that sense, every celestial body represents many different frequency bands, and this is the one which we have to work on the most, to bring all that darkness, that abhorrent behaviors into light, to let that go and evolve and bring that Nessus energy to a higher frequency. That is what's happening in a bigger picture, and this half year particularly, this is very, very in focus, as it's the nodal axis here which tunes into this very strongly. So this is where we're amidst of, in this phase between July and January, and resolve will come. Now, from another level seen, let's go into the Mayan calendar for a moment. So today, the 25th of August, we are here in this last 7 days of this 260-day template of galactic time. I've referred to that repeatedly. It was a new cycle started on the 15th of December 2020, right after the big solar eclipse on the 14th. So this was kind of a start, right, of new moon after solar eclipse. And that solar eclipse of December 14 is paramount related to that movement of bringing truth and justice. I have shown that at the time. It was exactly the same chart configuration where that revolution, that second American Revolution, began under, to bring justice and to expose all that fraud which happened in the last elections. And I would think there will be some positive conclusions coming right here now at the tail end of that process we're in, because it really resonates with this 260 days. So you can expect some breakthroughs, and I think that has been announced already before the 31st of August. The 31st of August actually resonates with this 13, how the last day of this sequence, and then starts a new 260-day cycle on the 1st of September. Also very powerful day that will be, even just from numerology, that alignment of the first day of the 9th month being again the initial spark of a whole new overlay of galactic energy. Means that synchronicity shows that galactic energy is most well rooted at our time. It gets easy access. Now, as we say today, the 25th, 7-ish, that is the wisdom of the shaman. Number 7 is the peak day of the 13-day cycle here, which started on the 19th of August, one Lamad, and we have now been building up. We're on the peak. 7 is the resonance with the higher dimensions, the shaman bringing in wisdom from the beyond. The white resonant visit. This is, I just want to show you, those of you who are not familiar with this, there is this site which I'm using, starroot.com, where you can find a correlation to any date. Just put the date in here and then you say reading, and then you can find out what your birthday is and whatnot. So the poem here for today, 75th, is I channel in order to enchant, inspiring receptivity. I seal the output of timelessness. With the resonant tone of attunement, I am guided by the power of death, Kimi, the understanding that everything is in constant revolution, coming back to the beginning. It's the Ouroboros symbol of the eternal cycle of life, where time becomes unimportant on some level, very mystical day to day, very deep. So the moon has been in Aries since early morning on the 24th, and right at midnight today, the 25th, Ceres and the North Node had an exact conjunction. Ceres is the planet of unconditional love, of commitment to a higher principle, and Ceres comes here out of this whole grouping which we described just before, of digesting all that difficult energies, bringing light into it, nurturing those emotions which will pull us through to the light, to the better places, the better perspectives, because it's really all about a shift of frequencies which we are experiencing. We are dreaming a new time into existence. And as you see the sun here at the 4th house cusp, this was a powerful moment, 0749, that in itself speaks. It's that fractal principle of the universe. Numbers times have deep meanings too, and it's a 7 day, so there's some magical, mysterious energies going on. And sure enough, there's more of that tomorrow. Mercury will then be moving into a new hexagram. Now let me show you this first here, that you understand what I mean. It's the overlay of the 64 different hexagram with the zodiac, and this is where we are right now here with Mercury is in hexagram 22, and tomorrow evening it will cross this line 22, 37 and 30 seconds. Sorry, I'm showing you the wrong sign here. I'm mixing it up. It's okay. Let me just go back. I'm mixing something up here. Right, it's Virgo. Sometimes having this dyslexia. Sorry for that. So it's Virgo. We're on the other side here. Really, I thought something was not right. So Mercury. Right, entering hexagram 6, conflict. That's an interesting one. And I will now show you something else here. This is the transiting energies, how they activate certain power centers in each of us. It brings that resonance into each of our electromagnetic fields, and this is hexagram 6 here, activated by Mercury from tomorrow on, and the Sun in 59. So what it really is a bridge here between the sacral power and the emotional power. Now I want to read you what this hexagram, this channel, I should say, these two hexagrams are bringing in energy-wise. And this is okay, that's from this very good site. I can recommend humandesign.tools, and you can copy that and go there yourself. Great sites for learning. So this is a channel of intimacy. Let's just go back here once more to show you it is the sacral with the emotional solar plexus, and this is one of the tribal circuits of survival, of instinct. The channel of mating links the sacral through gate 59, the gate of dispersion, that's where the Sun is in right now, into the 6, the gate of conflict. This channel represents reproduction, which is a fundamental genetic drive in humans. Since it's also part of the tribal circuitry, the element of support is present here. Wait, I just have to turn this phone off here. Okay, sorry about that. This channel can result in conceiving a child, and so is supportive, and support obvious is an important thing. So when this channel is defined, the support given is very intimate. So there's something happening magical within the collective grid through the next 3-4 days of supporting one another. It's the image of a mother and father hugging each other, and it is also that intimacy includes conflict, and I guess that's really the key here. I want to share with you the key phrase. And we know how emotional conflict can be. And the 59, the gate where the Sun is in, dispersion, responds to the emotional turbulence of conflict and seeks to disperse it, kind of to pacify, to absorb, restoring connection between people. So whatever takes place in the next few days will be bringing people together in unprecedented ways. All of a sudden, an amalgamation of energies beyond our minds will take place. Something deeper. It almost seems that something is falling away, which has been blocking, something which might be a misconception of sort. This chart in itself, with Mercury and Mars here in the first house, indicates that there is a strong discourse going on, and an argument. There's things are brought into a new perspective. And then what really struck my mind is that Mercury and Pallas, Neptune and Pallas, have the second conjunction. Actually, that is on the 27th, still a few days away, but within that window, Neptune is really the one which we all are struggling with at this present time. Neptune is in its own sign, very enlarged, and Neptune is definitely responsible for all the trickery and deception and the multi-layered narratives and extreme manifestations of all that nobody knows anymore what is true. Nothing is holds up to to exclusive truth or knowing. It's all kind of constantly moving. And I guess the bright side of that is that every single one of us is challenged to find their own inner truth. There's nothing out there to rely upon anymore. It's all constantly changing, shifting. So Neptune, in that sense, yes, brings confusion and all that fog, not knowing where we are at first, but it then is really pushing us to find our own answers. Now, Pallas has 3 conjunctions this year of Neptune. The first one was in April or so, the second just today, and then there will be a third one coming as these both move retrograde now, and eventually Pallas will turn direct Neptune too, and then there will be the third and final conjunction. So that is a year-long event in a way. It comes to a second culmination just a few days away. Pallas is scientific. Pallas also is artistic, in the sense seeing patterns and understanding the structure, the context, and transmuting it into a level of observation. I mean, that's what really science and art have in common, that you are looking at what is, and then you're extracting and overstating certain aspects of it, or going to the detail and enlarging certain patterns. I guess it's about finding patterns and understanding the context. So Neptune is truly being X-rayed. That's what it is in one sentence. So we are in a very interesting time to go back to the Mayan calendar here to end this video here, because this is the final week here we are in. So there will be conclusions coming our way. There will be clarity in whatever area you're looking for. This can be very personal, but likely it also will be quite collectively expressing it. I expect some sort of a big breakthrough on the judicial level of exposing that fraud, and I guess that is definitely just one aspect of many, but it is symbolic, as this is kind of the most gross level of these energies expressing themselves, and then there's all the finer ones which ripple out into all kinds of higher dimensional frequencies. So again, to end here, I would say this is an amazing ride we're on. If you see the bigger picture, you can sit back and just do your thing, do what you're good at, what you have been doing, continue. We're right on track. This is the best timeline we could have wished for, because it goes without major conflict, without major loss of life. Sure, there's casualties, there's all these many who have sacrificed themselves in a way to become the ones who wake others up. I mean, that's how I see it. These souls who leave at this time, they have signed up exactly for that. And the avalanche is building. Just keep watching it. Be sure you have a good stock of food and of all the good things you need to be happy. Maybe have even a bit more for your neighbors and such, because there is really difficult times ahead. a short few months. October looks like kind of at the peak of it. So it's not yet that we have found the solution, because it's a beast we are fighting with, which lashes out in its last death throes. This is thousands of years of having ruled over us a dark entity which has to be uprooted, and this takes a little more than we at first were expecting, but that's where we are. We're right in the thick of it, and yes, it will be all good. Thank you for listening, and see you soon.